Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I realize it's been a really long time since I've been here, but I have a project I have to make. So this summer, my son graduated from college just a couple weeks ago or a week ago, and he is traveling Europe. And in July, my husband and I are going to meet him in Italy. It's my first time to Italy, and I'm so excited. So I've been doing all kinds of preparation work, and I need a new wallet. I need a wallet that will fit my passport. So I keep my passport in this RFID blocker envelope, and it's just not going to fit in my trusty wallet that I made years ago. And I will link, I have a playlist of wallet stuff that I'll link, maybe, I think up there. And I love this wallet. It has held up really well. And it's a passport size traveler's notebook style wallet. And it's been really, really wonderful. But I need something that's going to fit my passport without squishing it, because this has gotten lovely and round and, oh, it feels good. But anyway, I'm not throwing this away. I'm just going to put it aside while I make this other larger one. And I'll probably come back to it at some point. It just fits nicely in every purse. Even if you have like a little clutch, it's just like such a good size. So that being said, this aside, I was thinking about different sizes. I actually considered going to like a proper TN size wallet because it's taller. I like the idea that you could actually slide a checkbook in here. But then I was looking at the books that I have that would fit this size, and they're just too big. I mean, I have some lovely books, Birds of North America and the Atlantic Shore, both of which have really nice kind of cool covers. But I just think that this is too large a thing to be lugging around in. So I said no to that. Then recently I made this. It's just made out of a file folder with some Tim Holtz papers, and it's a TN style, as you can see, and it has the elastics, and it has like a little notebook that I could keep all my travel stuff in. It has this really cool, convenient elastic thing you can stick stuff in, and it would fit the traveler's notebook insert in this elastic that is still unused. So it would work. However, once again, I feel like this is too big. I may put this up for sale in my Etsy. I'm not sure yet. If you're interested in it, let me know and I'll throw it up there. So that's that. And then I thought, well, I love working with field guides, and I have this one. Look how perfect this one is. This is a golden guide or a golden nature guide to flowers. And it's just a sweet little size. These are the passport size folders that you can order for traveler's notebooks that you just get on Amazon. And this is a brand new set. And if I take them out, it looks like it would fit perfectly in that little thing, but not so much. I mean, that it might fit, but it's kind of a tight, maybe-ish fit. And where did I just put my wallet down? And look, it is this size, but not wide enough. So as adorable as this is, and as much as I think it might work for a while, it's going to get overwhelmed really quickly with bulk. And I don't think it'll curve as deliciously as this has. So, putting that aside, although I might make one out of this at a later time, we'll see. So here I have the field guide to the birds. I love my field guides. I have a playlist of altered field guides. I will also stick that up there. But they've always been journals. So here's my idea. I think I'm going to use this as my new wallet. I love these guys. I love that it has the ruler on the back. It has this nice cloth cover. The Peterson field guides has a lot of personal meaning for me, as it has been accompanied my entire adult life. And it has, look at that end page. And it's got silhouettes in the back. So I think this is what I'm going to use. So, and even though it's tall, there's nothing to say that I can't make a folder for this that is taller than these. So this is my plan. So what do I have for this? I've got my trusty crafter's knife, and I just put a brand new blade in that in preparation. I have some I think this is Tim Holtz fabric. It's not real ticking, it's just been printed to look like ticking, but I thought I would use that to reinforce the spine. I am going to put a single hole like I did on this one. And you still wind up with 2 elastics going down the inside of the spine because I thread it through a bead. I find that works pretty well. So I have a couple of spacer beads, and I have 2 darker Tim Holtz eyelets, and then I have some charms so that you have something to grab hold of for the closure. Oh, I guess I need one more of those, come to think of it, for the closure. Although I could put that in the back. I still need a thingy. And I have some elastic. This elastic I bought on Amazon. It was a huge roll. It has lasted me years and years and years. You can tell I have had it since my dogs were puppies. And so that is, I don't actually know the measurement of this. The label is long gone, but got it on Amazon. Okay, so here's the deal. We have to remove the insides of this book. And I love these end pages so much. I think I might try and preserve them when I take out the book block without so I'm just pushing to see if I can maybe cut down here very surgically. Yeah. And I'm just using the tip because I don't want to take any chance of harming the outer spine. Having a new sharp blade is fabulous. So, how are you all? I know it's been a really long time. You got to follow your muse. I thought at the beginning of the year that I was going to jump back into it and start producing videos at the same rate I used to, but it did not happen. Turned out it was a really stressful school year. Had some really challenging students. Had some wonderful, lovely students, but also had some really challenging ones. So, I don't know. It was just didn't happen. All right, I want to preserve this end piece as well, but it is not wanting to pull away as neatly as the front did. I'm just gonna give it a little bit more muscle here. Oh, that works. Just pushing it forward with my thumb is helping. Because I think this is one piece of paper on the end there. Okay. Let us see what we can do. Again, just trying to be surgical about this and pulling in addition to cutting. So this trip to Italy is really significant for me as well because when I was a child, my very best friend's father was from Florence. I can reinforce that if I rip it a little. Was from Florence, and starting from the time we were about, I don't know, 12 or 13, every summer they'd say, "Hey, Jessica, why don't you come with us when we go to visit the family?" And every summer, my parents would say no. They didn't feel comfortable sending me without them across the pond. So I never went, and eventually they stopped asking. So I feel like this is a lifelong need finally happening. And we are going to fly to Milan and spend one night in Milan, because I think we're going to be kind of exhausted after the 7-hour flight and the time difference and everything. And then we're going to get up the next day, and we are going to take the train. I got a one country Eurail pass, and we're going to take the train to Florence, and I think that's where we're going to meet up with my son, because he's going to have been in Italy for a while yet, and he's flying into the southern part, and he's working his way north. And then I found a really affordable apartment for a week, and we're just going to do day trips out of Florence. So if you have been and you have recommendations, let me know. I've booked a one-day wine tour of Chianti, and I am planning on taking the train over to the ocean to go swimming in the Mediterranean, because I am a major ocean person. That worked, you guys. Look, that worked quite well. And so I have to swim in the sea. I've never swum in the Mediterranean, so I have to swim in the Mediterranean. Okay, so this is good. It's in pretty good shape. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this, and I'm just going to cut a piece of this fabric, and I'm going to reinforce these pieces here, because this is going to be just decorative because I love these. And then the guts will be right in here. See, it's going to go like this. And I'm going to make a folder for this. And I think if I don't have another one of these, I'm just going to use the ones that I already have filled. They're so useful. Okay, so let's cut or tear a piece of fabric that will work. So let's see, I'm going to have it go over a bit on each side. Scissors. Like that. Yep. So, we want to go see the Galileo Museum. And of course we want to see like the Ponte di Vecchio and the Duomo and, and David. I want to go see David. We might take a day to go see Pisa. I think Pisa is like a day trip from what I can tell. And what else? I don't even know. We're going to want to go to the different markets. I'm so excited, you guys. I'm so excited. Why aren't these cutting? That's so sad. They must have gotten sticky one too many times. Luckily, I have no shortage of scissors here. Okay. So I have a piece to reinforce the spine. It's in really good shape, but I know that from the amount of use that I will be exerting, I don't know. I can't speak. It's been a while. I was very nervous about coming back on here today. I think I'm going to do this. And I think I'm going to use Fabri-Tac. Trusty Fabri-Tac. Do I need to... No, the paper backing seems to be fine. I'm going to glue that down and glue this down. And then, here we go. Oh, come on, Fabri-Tac, don't let me down. And then I'm gonna put in the one, I mean, I suppose I could do two. I think if I just do one down the center, this is not coming out well. If I do one elastic down the center, it will give the book a little bit more room to kind of be like a curved spine, just naturally from use. And I think it'll be really nice and protective of the insides because they're going to be a little bit shorter, which is good. Okay. Here's my folder here. Oops, that's wonky. I don't really want it to be quite so wonky. Fabri-Tac does give you a little bit of wiggle room in terms of not grabbing quite so tightly immediately. And if it's not perfectly even on both sides, that's fine. I'm not bothered. Really going to get it in there. I might have to reinforce that with something. Okay. Are you cooperating now, Fabri-Tac? Oh gosh, have I been? I think I'm on screen. I'll check in a second. Yeah. Okay. So that's that side. And I'm just gonna. Maybe I need to put some on this edge of the fabric here, so I know that I am getting the whole thing down. Okay. I'm just going to fold that back. Let's see how this opens. I want it to be kind of flat there, don't I? There we go. That looks good. That's that side. Scooch that out a bit. Okay, so now that is Fabri-Tac paper, so it has the strength of the fabric. Okay, let's try this side. It's been a really long time since I've used my glues, so I'm quite pleased that they still all seem to be okie dokie. Get that right in there. And I think when I push this down, I'm going to do it by opening the flap this time. Okay. Come on, you. And I downloaded Babbel on my phone so I can learn some Italian. I took Spanish in high school, well, for many, many years in school. And then I lived in Quebec, lived and worked in Quebec, way, way, way out at the end of the highway, Saint-Conduit, in a completely Francophone community, and had to learn French. So from what I've been able to tell with Italian, I think I'm going to be able to manage okay. And, you know, there's always Google Translate. Oh, that side came out better. Not quite so bulgy, but hey, that's okay. That is okay. This is for me, and it's a wallet. It's good. And I get to keep this page. I might go ahead and put some scrapbook paper on there as well to reinforce it some more. We'll see. We'll see how heavy and bulky it becomes once I get the insides that I really need. But I could turn that into pocket pages if I reinforce it, I think. Ta-da! Yeah, you can see it looks a little wonky, but that's actually okay because it's actually going into the corners of that area there quite well, which is a good thing. Alrighty. Okay, so do we think that's sturdy enough to hold the elastic, or does it need a little more strength? It feels a little bit perhaps soft. I wonder, maybe one more layer of cardboard. I probably should have put a piece of cardboard in first, but that's okay. That's okay. I can wrap another piece of fabric around a piece of something stiff, maybe a piece of file folder, and then glue it on. And then when I put the holes in, it will also adhere it, and it'll give it a little bit more form, because this, I'm afraid it will, when I put the elastics in, it's going to squish it. So let's do that. So when you do this, make the spine stiffer. I have some file folder here. I also have, no, I think this is the same. What else do I have? I have some of this file folder. This file folder, I think, is thicker. So let's just measure, roughly measure. So I want it that wide. I want it that long. Let's see, where's my mark? Hard to see the mark on the dark paper. That's okay. I got it. Okay, that is the width. And it's great to have a bin of scraps at this side. And then here's my height. And let's see, how does that look in terms of, oh, that looks quite good. And I think I'm going to cover this in fabric as well. I'm not going to wrap it. I don't think. I'm just going to cover it for looks. I'm going to make it a little bit wider because I think I want it frayed. There we go. Just a little frayed. And then it'll go like that. And like that. And it can go like that. There we go. And yes, I definitely like the frayed edges. And then I'm just going to glue that on. Let's see. Where is, oh, there it is. Just put it down. Some fabric tack. which dries. I tend to only use this for really for fabric. There was a period of time where I used it for everything because it dried so beautifully quickly. But it does have a very strong smell, and I'm sure it's the fumes that it gives off are not healthy. There we go. Oh, see Daisy. It's all right. Okay. And then strings off. I'm going to make that straight. Make that straight. Double check to see if it's mostly centered. Do I keep going out of frame? No, I think I'm okay. It is a cold, kind of rainy day here in Massachusetts. It has been such a cold spring. And I don't even mind that it's not like perfectly matching up. I think that shows character. And I think that's going to give it just a little bit more structure. So let's use the Fabri-Tac again. Oh my goodness, strings. Yeah, just it's a Memorial Day weekend. And actually today's Memorial Day. And we went up to New Hampshire and went camping at a lovely state forest called Greenfield State Forest. If you're in the region, I highly recommend it. It has really clean facilities. Every bathroom has really nice stainless steel sinks for doing your dishes. And the bathrooms are clean. It has showers. I didn't use the showers, so I don't know how they look, but it does have separate shower facilities. It has a couple of very convenient, like camp stores where you can pick up necessities that you forgot. Dogs are allowed. Lots of friendly dogs around. There's a pond. It's a very nice kind of family-oriented campground. And we had a really nice time, but it was cold. It's practically June, and I had a fleece on, and I had layers, and I had to spend a lot of time under blankets because it was just cold. It has been such a cold spring. But we had a nice, pleasant, relaxing time anyway. Okay, I'm liking that. That looks good to me. Okay, so let's let this dry a smidge before I put the holes in the elastic in. And in the meantime, I want to make a couple of folders for it. So I grabbed an envelope. I think I'm going to use that as a folder. I grabbed this is a sheet protector, and I was thinking I might turn that into one as well, I'm gonna have to cut it down quite a bit, but I was thinking for like train tickets, and let's work on this one first and figure this out. I also grabbed some scrapbook paper for other things. But yeah, I'm gonna have to cut down both the height and the width. But if I don't cut off both sides, that would probably be smarter, wouldn't it, Jessica? So from the center, that looks like a decent width. And for the height, I need a pen. I think I need a permanent marker here. So I'm gonna have to cut. I want to cut it down. I don't want to go to the very top because the elastic is going to be somewhere shorter. So I'm just going to make this a little bit shorter, like there and there. So put that to the side. I'm just going to burnish this a bit. And I will grab my cutter. See how this works. And this way I won't have to glue. I don't know how well this will glue. Okay, so that's the height. And then the width is going to be just inside this line there. Okay. Super hard to see, like I'm working with ghost material. Okay. So this is a top loading pocket, and this is like, I probably don't even have to glue it. Let me see if I can just glue a little bit here. I have some Barely Art glue. I wonder if that will work. If I just glue a little bit down the side here. This is new to me, this Barely Art glue. Who have I been watching that uses it? A lot of people have moved to this away from the art glitter glue, because this isn't temperature sensitive. So you can actually order this in the winter time, and if it accidentally freezes in transit, it will still work. Unlike the art glitter glue, which is very temperature sensitive. So let's see how well that works on plastic. And then I think I need to reinforce this back with some washi. And I have some pretty fabric washi, some Tim Holtz fabric washi that is really nice and strong, that I like to use for reinforcing things that are going to be under stress. But getting the backing off is always a challenge. Ha 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 ha. I gotcha. I gotcha. Okay, let's be smart about this and line this up at the top, and voila! Ooh, that went smoothly. And then I can just carefully cut off the excess here. There we go. That's probably how those other scissors got wonky. Okie dokie. You know what I need is a field guide to the birds of Europe. Although I suppose I could probably download one on my phone. I've never seen, I don't know what, I actually am very unfamiliar with the birds of Europe. I know like all of the birds in Edith Holden, like the great tit and the blue tit. Are they just UK, or are they in Europe too? And do they have magpies? Like, what do they have in Italy? I don't know. I need to look that up. That's going to be fun to find out. Okay, so there is a sleeve, a pocket, and a, I might, you know what, let's put a little washi tape on there too. I have this other Tim Holtz washi that's Ledger. I'm just going to cut a piece off that. And if the glue doesn't hold, then this will definitely hold. Okay. around. There we go. So I can slide things into that and they won't fall out. Okay, so that is one clear pocket. I have this for my cards. Oh, what am I gonna do about this? Ooh, wait a second. Did I just inadvertently solve this problem? Oh, look at that. I just inadvertently solved that problem. Like it was meant to be. Well, the elastic will hold that closed. Love when that happens. Like I measured it even, but I didn't. And you saw that. Okay, so we've got that pocket. We've got these pockets. And if I need more used ones, I don't think I have any more new of the small, but that's okay. Let's do something with this. So this I want to keep as a flap. I could extend it. I think I have some Velcro dots someplace here. Yep. Is this? No, I know I have them. Hold on. I am looking behind me. Ha. Velcro dots. Yep. So I could Velcro dot this. I think I would like to extend this so that the flap actually is here. So I can lift it up like that and it tapers. And I might cover this in some decorative paper. And I think I also want to open up this, but I think I'll cover it and then notch it. Maybe I'll like take the sleeve off a sliver and then do a notch, and that way things can come out of there. And actually probably I wonder if this would fit in here as well. So I'll have options. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. So I could probably use this in here as well. Oh, this is just working out so well. So excited. So what is this? This is a 6x8, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6x9 manila envelope. All right. So let us reinforce this. Let's cover with paper and then I'll reinforce it. And I'll go over. No, I'm sorry. I have some of this washi tape. It's fabric, but it's not as thick as the Tim Holtz. And this, I believe, is 49 in market. So I'm going to just reinforce this here. It's a little bit thinner, and then I will go around. I didn't know I was going to do that, but I'm doing it. There we go. Reinforcing with the 49 in market travel tape. Okay, and now I have picked out these papers. So this is Stamperia. This is Stamperia. There's I think that's a great tit. We don't have those in North America. This is my favorite Stamperia paper of all time. I just love it because it's non-directional, it's pretty. And then I also have this one, but I think I'm gonna save this one for maybe an all-out folder because I grabbed this because of the map. And then I grabbed this one. Gosh, this is so pretty. I just pulled this out of the plastic just now. Ta-da! There's Italy! Yay! My son right now is in Ireland over here. He's doing a wild walk. It's like a hike through. It's an established walk, like a hiking trail, kind of like the Pacific Crest Trail or the Appalachian Trail, but it's it's more civilized in Ireland. It goes through villages where you can stay at hostels and stop at pubs, not every night, but every few nights. So that he has one friend who's his adventure buddy, and they've been having a nice adventure doing the Kerry way. So I kind of want that bird on my flap. So maybe I'll just trace this. If I do it at the top, I might be able to get the nest as well. There we go. So I want it like that. But it actually only needs to go to about here. All right, so I'm gonna try, I got these new scissors. All right, so this is a straight-ish line here. And here. Okay. So that works. And then I kind of want it to be tapered. Like so, and then rounded like so. There we go. Oh, that's cute. Like that. Okay, so now let's glue this on. And I should probably, you know what, I should probably do two. I should probably reinforce this seam. I don't think I need something quite as strong to reinforce this seam. So what do I have? I have a drawer next to me that the top drawer is just full of washi tape. So I'm just going to reinforce this seam with some washi. Like that. Whoops. Whoopsie. Like that. And wait, let me find the crease again. I know I need to do something about this so that it doesn't wind up sticking. So we don't actually want it to stick. Maybe I'll just put some washi over that because I don't want it to be too thick and heavy either. Yep, that works there. So let's get our Barely Art glue. This Barely Art glue really does have a lovely tip that allows you to be extremely precise. And I've always used a little precise tip for the art glitter glue too, which also worked just fine. I was just really, I didn't have any complaints about the art glitter glue. I was just curious really about the, and then I saw Tony on Crafty by Tony using this stuff. So I also have this because I was curious about how that worked. Okay, and let me remove this. I'm not inking anything. I don't actually want this to be inky. Tape. I want something slightly wider. Here, this is slightly wider. Sticky sticky scissors. Got the sticky scissors and the not sticky scissors. And my bone folder. Burnish that all down. There we go. Okay, and my glue, my cute, tiny, teeny tiny. So what I do, oops, is I take the two things together first, and then maybe I'll stick a tiny bit of glue down there. And I'm going to use 2, I think. And another one here. Oops, I forgot to put glue on that one. That's okay. And then here. And then I think I'll put a dab of glue on each one here. And then when I stick them down, I don't have to worry about did I line them up properly or not. I know I didn't cover that one. That's fine. Actually, don't mind the yellow. This is mostly functional. Okay, so this, I want a piece to cover that one though, right? That's what I said. Is that gonna fit? That will just fit. Will this fit? I'm getting kind of crowded here. Yep. Okay, pencil here. And I don't want to crash in to hinder the shutting of it. And here. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can cut this straight. I don't normally, I usually use my cutting board, but I love the feel of these scissors. They're Tim Holtz and they're spring-loaded. There we go. Let's see how we did. Bum, bum, bum. Ta-da! It's a little too high. The width is okay. So I'm just going to take a smidge off the top here. And I can straighten it out at the same time. There we go. And it even has a little bit of a border, which is fine with me. Because I'm actually going to snip it down and notch it. So let me glue this down. Oh. Which is it, you guys? Berries or greenwood? Kind of like the berries. Because, you know, isn't that go better with the... Yeah, I'm going to do the berries. If I were making a journal, if this were going into a journal that I was going to make for someone or to sell, I probably would ink all the edges. But since this is going to be my wallet that I hold and bring out with me, and I don't want ink to get wet and runny and actually bleed. So like that. The Bearly Art Glue does allow you a little bit more time to adjust. Like the art glitter glue grabs right away, which is great in a lot of circumstances. But it's also nice that the art glitter glue, I'm sorry, the Barely Art, gives you like that extra second of wiggle room to go, oh, that's not quite right. Okay, so I need a straight edge. And I'm just going to take off a smidge off the end here. To open up that pocket. Oops. There we go. And then I would like a notch. And I'm going to use the notch in the envelope punch board. And I'm just going to eyeball it for centering. Ha. Voila. Okay. So there is, ha, a Velcro closed envelope pocket and a notch pocket. And I don't think I'm going to add anything more to it than that. Okay, so that goes there because the passport will actually fit in there, which is just a lovely coincidence. All right, let's look at our cover now. Again, this is feeling pretty dry. Okay, so now let's figure out where do we want to put our holes. And I'm going to need a third hole for the elastic that goes around. And where's my wallet? On this one, I did it around the back, in the center of the back. You can also do it in the center here. I don't know that it makes a difference. It needs a charm, so I find that the charm is useful to grab the elastic. I think I'm going to do it in the spine. We'll do it differently this way. So I need 3 holes in this spine. And I have my what is this called? A Crocodile 2 that is heavy duty, that goes through many layers quite well. So I think I'm going to do about a 1/2 inch. Maybe I'll actually measure. What a concept, right? Does this have a 1/2 inch? 1/2 inch from the top in the center is here. And a 1/2 inch from the top in the center is just above the word field guide. And then let's see, where is the center of the spine itself? And this is a Tim Holtz ruler. It's a centering ruler. So you poke the 0 where you think it's going to be in the center. And then you look at the edges until it's about the same in there. Let's see, this at 3/4 here, and it's 3 3/4 here. So the center, I want to make sure these all line up too. There and there. Right? Let's check that. Yeah, that's pretty darn centered. Okay. Well, that's happy. I'm sorry, I have to clear the deck a little bit because it's getting crowded here. Okay. going to, this is on the 3/16 inch punching thing. Hole punch, that is the word I'm looking for. And there's one. There is two. And there is the third hole. Okay. So now I've got two of those and I need one more. Maybe I'll use a big one for the one in the center. Is that the same? No, that's black. Is that the same? Nope, that's not the same. See, I want it to kind of match. And I'm not usually too matchy-matchy. That's pretty close. Close enough. Okay, so I've got my, they're not called grommets. What are they called? Menopause brain. Eyelets. All right, so I've got it all set up on the right settings. And I'm just gonna, excuse my head, squish that down. Do my center one. Squish that down. Looking good. Oops. This is, and the bottom one, and we will squish that down. Okay. Voila, that's how it looks like on the inside. It feels sturdy. I'm glad I added this extra bit here because it feels like it needed it. Okay, so let's do the wraparound first because that's going to be harder to access once I put the other string on. So this is super simple. All you do is you tie a knot. I'm just going to put them together and do an overhand knot. Like that. And then you slide it through. And that's all that is to it. Voila. Forgot the charm. Rats. Rats, rats, rats. All right. That's okay. We can undo this. I pulled it tight too, didn't I? Ugh. Ugh. All right, you don't have to watch me struggle with that. Let's do the other elastic. So this is gonna go like this. It's just gonna go through twice. You want it to be, you need to leave some room for the knot because you want it to be taut, but you don't want it to be squeezing the whole thing down. So the way I do this is I put it through the top and then I put it through a bead and then I put it back through the top and then I do the same thing on the bottom. Through the bead. This allows you to get two lengths through without having to make two holes. And it works really well in things that have slightly narrower spines for the traveler style notebook. And then we are just going to tie a knot. It's a little fiddly when you want it to get it to line up properly. I like it when they kind of lay flat, but they don't always, obviously. And then you kind of have to get it to, and for this one, I don't do an overhand knot. I'm just going to do like a regular knot. What do they call it? A granny knot? There. I'll cut the ends off later. So that's how it looks like on the outside, and you can kind of fiddle with it to get the beads to lay flat. There we go. There we go. See? And then tools. Because I have the charms. I have this cute birdie charm, but I had planned, I wonder if that will even fit through. That won't even fit through, will it? I had planned to slide that through. You know what? I'll get, that's fine. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to get some O-rings, some jump rings, and I'll attach it with jump rings. There we go. And then this slides around like that, and it's not tight. It has room still for stuff to go inside, but it will hold it closed. And then this will go here, and then this little charm says, "Not all who wander are lost." I'm gonna have that hanging from the birdie. So where are my O-rings? Here we go. They're right here. I don't know what size to use. I think I'll use these. They're kind of thin. Is there a thicker? Yeah, these look thicker. Oh, those aren't O-rings. Those are lobster claws. No, I don't want to use a lobster claw. I don't want to use a lobster claw. If they're too big, I'll use this one. So I just need 2 of those. And some tools. So I will open this. Now when you probably all know this, but when you're doing O-rings, you don't open them by pulling them apart. You open them by twisting them. Like so. They're kind of thick. Let's see if this works better. Okay, so it goes through the tail hole and then the elastic. And I think I just need to open it a smidge more. There we go. And around the elastic, and then close by twisting it back. And then the other one, let's see if I put it closer, twist it open, flip it through the beak opening, around the elastic, and twist it back closed. Sometimes you have to give it a little smush. And then here, this one came with a ring. And I'm just gonna open a smidge more. Have it hanging off this extra little spot and close it up again. I want to close it really well because I really don't want to lose this "Not all who wander are lost" charm, because it's one of my favorites. There we go. There. Not all who wander are lost. Not all those who wander. So then that really does help to just, and look, it sits really nicely below the birdie. Oh, I'm happy with that. Okay, let's see what things look like inside this. All right, maybe I will cut this off. Okay. Tight. Snip. And then make sure this is tight. And I'll snip that. There we go. And then we have this. And we have this. Oh, did I not? I made it too, that's okay. It'll still work okay, kind of. I can shorten that. I'm gonna have to shorten that. That's easy enough. Maybe not. And then we also have this. This will fit a zippered pouch and it will fit 4 cards. And I can put my passport in this one. And there we go. But those sides look kind of plain, don't they? I kind of want something here to look pretty against everything else. I like that I can see the pretty tip through these folders, although as soon as I put something in, let me quickly, that's bothering me. Let me quickly cut the top off of this so that it fits better. Easy enough to do. And then that plastic sleeve can just like that. Voila! Oh, I'm pleased. Oh, all right. I think I'm just going to add some papers to it, and then I will come back and show you the finished product. So, ta for now. Okay, sorry about how long this turned out to be, but here it is. It's done. You open it like that. I wound up covering these pages here. I just think it looks pretty now. I still have my silhouettes on the front and my silhouettes on the back. Love it. I wound up using the first elastic for my plastic sleeve and my envelope for my passport. And in this one, I had some gift cards that I found in my wallet. I need to figure out if they still work, so I stuck them in there. And then that's the back of that first sleeve. And then I just moved my other card sleeves from the other wallet to this one. So it is set. I'm all ready to start using my new wallet. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for joining me. I have another project that I need to make for Italy soon, so I'll be doing that and uploading it in the next few days. So thanks so much. Please hit like, hit subscribe, and leave me a comment about Italy or travel or wallets. Have a great day. Bye-bye.